Greetings and salutations to all you folks out there. I've got a game for you today on Canis. This is a 5v5 version, and in the ever continuing effort to bring my casting back up to the quality that it used to be, I hopefully have reintroduced the minimap. It should be sized correctly, and I think that it will be able to show you all of the things that are going on while I'm zoomed in on different portions of the map. Let's go ahead and run down the teams, and then we will see how this game turns out. I think this one has some good stuff happening to it, so we'll see where it leads. On the north side, we've got Arrow as UEF, I5 running Aeon in the air slot. Yeah, woo, that's a doozy. Salty backwards. We're gonna call him Salty. Just dawned on me what that is. He is Seraphim. Silene Undulata as Aeon in the front slot, and Chevalier Noob, I guess because he's a little rusty, down to 500 rank or so, if I'm reading the scoreboard right. He used to be a bit higher than that, if I'm not mistaken. On the south side, we have Blodir as UEF, along with Sky Smasher. We've got Orion as Aeon, again in the air slot. Hershey as Cybrin in the left-hand side, and then Evil Angel manning the front with the UEF faction. So, the way Canis usually plays out, the middle slot here is the air slot. They take these three mass extractors. Blodir is going to expand up the right side. This fine gentleman here, he is going to come out over this way. And then we've got left flank and center. So these are mirrored slots, of course, and, well, most larger maps you end up getting a dedicated air slot. Let's see what these guys are doing at the beginning. We do have a little bit of early aggression. Evil Angel pinging a couple of mech marines out. Those are going to try to pick up any engineers or units leaving the base, and we do have kind of the same thing going on from Salty, but he has used a tank, so it'll be a bit slower getting across the map, but the tank will trump the lab that is coming up right here, although it does not look like they will meet, and hopefully that is so that nothing gets back into this channel back here, because there's always exposed engineers over on this side, and if you're able to get in there and snipe them, it can slow people down. However, those do look like they're moving up a little bit right there. Let's see what we've got on the radar. If we go over here to Salty, he does not have it on the radar quite yet, but it was pinged, so it was just a moment ago. There it is. Gonna get at least 1-2 engineer kills. That is fantastic. Excellent little mech marine running over that away. I don't see any successful aggravations happening on the south side, although there is a tank coming in, and there are no tanks over here to defend. Little mech marine, where is he at? Firing on a tank now. That one is going to get toasted, and that mech marine died as well. So, tank is going to pick up an engineer just before that mass extractor is built. Carry on into the base on his merry, merry way, but Evil Angel is going to try to head that off with an ACU. I don't think that those guys are going to get away. That ACU is rapidly approaching. Turn tail and run! They might live on to kill another engineer or two, but probably not for much longer. We also have an early bomber, early-ish, from I5, 4 minutes. Yeah, we can call that early. There's an interceptor that is going to calmly pass it by as that bomber carries on and kills 3 engineers. Point to make. Bombers are now more expensive than they used to be, so you need to kill more than 2 engineers to make them worth it. So I can't get away with using that line over and over anymore. Interceptors are out. They will easily pick off that bomber. And now we've got the typical push and pull that happens on Canis, where you've got a lot of mobile units. They kind of poke and prod around the map. You don't want to focus too much on point defense unless it's perhaps like in this choke point over here, because otherwise you're going to get squashed as units flow around the map and you are not able to stop them. Hershey setting up a base of operations on the left-hand side, a rather good area for production as long as you don't get cut off from your base, and it looks like he does have a point defense in the gap, so those tanks will not be successful as they push in. A nice little spot for a Cellin that can sit there and cloak up. They'll be able to provide free intel on any units leaving the base. Another point defense right there, which has paid for itself as well in tanks killed. So, you know, you can't really argue against an occasional T1 point defense because they can save your butt in so many different ways. 4 Thams versus 4 Mantis. Unfortunately, one of them got ganged up on, and the Thams are going to come out victorious, mostly thanks to a bit of micro and lucky positioning. Up here on the front, Silene Undulata appears to have both gun upgrades. he is just going to wave right in against Evil Angel, who has both an inferior number of units and an unupgraded commander. So Aeon flexing its strengths here, pushing T1 hover tanks across the river in the center. It's joined by units from Salty over on this side. Both of those are going to come against Evil Angel and just push him away. He's going to lose all of his build power there, the Hydro, and now his base is wide open for invasion. One advantage, though, that he does have is that T1 artillery cannot accompany these units unless it goes all the way around the outside edge. It's all going to be Auroras, and he's going to be able to deny that very easily with a handful of T1 point defense covered by walls. We do know that T1 point defense are absolutely the bane of the Aurora's existence because they have such low HP. Really wish Skymasher would have a gun upgrade right here because he'd be able to pop those one shot, one kill on all Aeon T1 units. It is a fantastic thing, but he does not, unfortunately. He will be able to push the tanks away a little bit and buy some time. Hershey has got his production online. He's got 4 land factories over here pumping out Mantis. He'll be able to cover his side, although I think that he would do well to be checking with his team and see if he can help out with these units. He is moving that way now. The gun commander for Aeon does completely outrange T1 point defense. Cannot even hope to kill an ACU with those, unless, of course, you have someone stupid enough to walk directly into the point defense. But there is a triad up here in the corner, and they're going to try to deny those ACUs with the point defense. Evil Angel coming out of the water, joining his teammate there on the neck, and they should be able to kill all of those tanks and hopefully push that ACU back a little bit. The 2 ACUs together can match the damage of the gun commander and have a much, much larger health pool. Blodeer fending off a little attack up here. Did not accomplish much. Chevalier just basically donating mass at this point. And Blodeer does have the T2 suite. He's going to build a couple of point defense. Something to remember, though, that that point defense is not going to be able to hit much due to the change in terrain over on that side. You don't want to be building too many point defense next to a hill. It's just not going to do you much good. All of the tanks have been cleaned up here. That's going to leave a nice little reclaim field on this side. Control orders for interceptors. I was about to say that that is a nice one for engineers so that they'll get that reclaim up. But that is just air looping about from red. That would be I-5. He's trying to maintain air control on or near his teammates' land units so that they don't get bombed to death. Bombs, of course, very effective versus Aeon due to the low HP. You know, I may have misspoken. Oh boy. With the recent balance changes, the Aeon T1 mobile anti-air does have enough HP to survive a gun comm shot. So I cannot say that anymore either, that all of the Aeon units die to one shot from the UEF gun comm. Salty pushing these Mantis back with his own gun commander that has also got Nano instead of T2. That's a bit of an interesting choice there. He's going to suck up some reclaim. Rocking on 14,500 health with 70 regen. That is a pile. He can regen, is that 3 T1 tanks worth of damage? Something in that ballpark. Lots and lots of regen with tons of damage. The only bad thing about it is that he doesn't have the extra build power that T2 would afford him to throw down some defensive anti-air structures. Looks like Blodeer is going for an air snipe. He's got T2 gunships piling up. A lot of interceptors. T1 bombers all over the place for I-5. He is desperately trying to give his team an upper hand in the land fight. FU! Yeah, that Aeon gun comm can be quite annoying. Trying to build some range bots versus it, but I'm pretty sure that the Aeon commander either matches or slightly exceeds the Mongoose's range. I think the Hoplite does outrange it by a couple of ticks, but not anything super significant. T1 bombers coming into the base, probably going to try and kill some build power if they can get to anything, but it does appear that they're going to get shot down by some well-placed anti-air before they can get to anything of too much value. Yep, dropping out of the sky again. We're probably headed for some of these NGs and power generators in the back. That is going to hand air control over to the south side team. We have 3 different colors of interceptors, lots of air being built, and the continual bomber production from I-5 has dampened his ability to kick out those interceptors as he should be doing. Plus, we've got some Swift Winds online for Orion 66. So that is going to give total air domination to the Southside team. Probably a good time to use these bombers. Not bombers, gunships. Because the flak has not hit the field yet for most of these players. Trying to check casually as I am saying so. Nope, no flak for the north side. So only T1 stationary anti-air, a handful of mobile, and maybe a flak to be built should an air attack happen. So now would definitely be an excellent time to use those gunships. They have been pinged. There was an incursion into the base on the south side, but that is going to be dealt with swiftly by the damage from those gunships. They're now going to fly to the north. Salty already building T1 anti-air. This is not going to end well. He got the T2 upgrade in the meantime, so he's got all that extra build power. They're trying to damage the commander, but you're talking about 16,500 health on 80 regen. That is just so much to eat through. We've also got 4 or 5 Swift Winds online for I-5. He's going to focus fire those down, try to eliminate enough gunships that Salty can survive down to about half HP now. Still rapidly building those T1 anti-air. And what do you know, Janus is coming in to join the fight as anti-air units. That is going to be enough to tip the balance. So the north side is going to steal back the air superiority and knock all those gunships down. Salty surviving with plenty of HP left over and some anti-air to guard his position. Gonna shrug off those T1 units with a handful of guns. Excuse me, with a handful of overcharges and his gun upgrade. Alright, on the north side, looks like Blodier is moving some of his units to the north. You'll notice that these engineers are building walls, but they appear to have left some gaps where units can slip past. You might be wondering, well, wouldn't full walls be more useful since they would stop units passing? I would point out that there is a T2 point defense guarding this gap, and there's not one over... Oh, yep, there it is right there. T2 point defense guarding that gap. What that does, if the wall sections completely cross, it stops the units from pathfinding and they go around. However, if you leave a gap that even one little unit can go through, they all try to fit through the gap and it totally screws over the pathfinding. They all come to the gap, bunch up, stay in one spot, and then your point defense can shred them. That one point defense and some carefully placed wall sections can do a boatload of damage. This is excellent right here. Bunched up units just waiting to get hit by the grenades from the Mongoose. Those do have a bit of area of effect. They don't fire very often, but when they do, it can be horrendously damaging to bunched up units like that. That is going to be a successful defense by the Southside team. So many units. Map control favors the north side. Air has been swapping back and forth all game, and I totally missed while I was focusing on the land battle. There was some Janus fire coming in on that mechs. Looks like we lost maybe some build power on this side. Nothing too serious, and then all of those are going to bunch up and die to the anti-air firing at them from Blodier's fire base. Not quite gonna snag that T2 mass extractor. Gunships coming in. Looks like I-5 is a bit confident in his air superiority. He's going for a T3 air factory, probably to build some T3 P-gens, and building a few gunships as well, which I don't think is super duper smart. Yep, Blodier is going to take air control once again right there. A handful of Swift Winds in the south, but I don't think enough. Maybe with Yellow's air? It is a pretty tight air game right now. Comment as well on further balance changes. Resource allocation has been nerfed, so you're going to need to build a T3 air factory and then T3 power generators, not 3 T2 P-gens and then resource allocation as it has been in the past. You definitely need to get at least 1 T3 P-gen up, and by the time you do that, you might as well build 2 to 3, get your air production online, and get resource allocation later to top off your economic potential. So just don't try to go for RAS if you haven't been on FAF in a while and jump into an air slot. On the south side, we are seeing still T2 production from that air factory. The third generator going up. and it appears that Orion is quite substantially behind I-5 in mass income. But with air superiority sitting with the Southside team, I don't think that matters particularly much. Hershey is going for T3. There it is. He had a little bit of an incursion into his base, but he was able to drop a loyalist over there to take care of that. And he is now building more to hopefully start putting some pressure on this side of the map, because he definitely needs to do something about all of these units running wild on his side of the map. White is doing everything he can to just deny these ACUs. Again, a T2 nano gun comm and a shield double gun Aeon comm. That is potentially two of the most dangerous commanders that reside on this battlefield. You can throw the UEF gun shield T2 comm in there, and that is probably just as strong, but this is definitely not something that you want sitting right outside your base. That is just gonna end badly, you know? You've got to get, and it looks like he is, point defense going down in the base here. So if those ACUs come over this ridge into range of the point defense, they are definitely going to have a bad time. Loyalist cleaning up all of that T1 that was trying to come into the base over there. That is going to give him a little bit of breathing room. He's going to go ahead and move down and try to take out some of this. I would caution, yep, there it is, first overcharge. I would caution against getting too close to that ACU, because that is a very dangerous commander. But you can definitely loosen up some of the land here that's being held by the Northside team and try to take it back. Maybe not completely, maybe you can't get your mass extractors built, but at least deny it to them. Because it is better to have a 2-year-old mentality when you're playing SupCom. If you can't have it, they shouldn't either. That was a hard hit from the Strat Bomber. 2 T2 power generators bombed in the middle instead of specifically targeting either one, as you should. Keep that in mind when you're playing an air game. Sometimes you can hit more targets by ground firing than you can by just targeting something down. Orion is going to have to rebuild probably a T2 generator. I don't know. He may have enough overflow from his team. Let's check it out. Nope, he is power stalled very, very hard. So he is going to need a T2 gen before he is able to build his T3. And that's going to knock his air time way back. Luckily, though, Bloateer has picked up the slack, and he is now building T3 air. And over here, we've got Salty trying to push the base, and actually being quite successful at it. That ACU just soaking up Loyalist damage, overcharging his way through all of the units that Hershey had saved up. Hershey now taking Janus Fire on his commander, which is also going to take out his power generators, some of his build power, damage the comm, reducing its ability to stay in the fight. Even though that is only a T2 commander, it still can do a little bit of good. T2 tanks coming in to try and assist, but I don't think there's any hope for this. Salty has picked up a vet. He's now at 5 vet, 95 regen on 25,000 health. That is a ludicrous health advantage, and he is going to be able to regen basically everything hitting his commander. Literally a gun on his ACU from another ACU will be regened at 95%. You could shrug off pretty much anything. Air fight here in the middle. It looks like Bloateer is going to take the advantage on that one. There was another Strat Bomber right down here that those ASF are swarming a little bit. Interceptors coming in from Chevalier. And don't be shy about pushing your interceptors, guys, because they can definitely help in an air fight. Bloateer has a pack of his own, though. Triad's taking out a Harbinger as it's trying to waste this base. Energy storage did go down for Hershey at a pretty critical time, because he does need overcharge as this ACU is closing in on his own commander once again. Red gunships coming in, trying to harass the commander, but ASF are going to take care of that, no problem whatsoever. There is flak with the commanders now, so gunships are not going to be as effective denying those comms. Looks like the air fight is going to be taken out to the middle over some anti-air. Bloateer does not like his odds there. He's mopped up the ASF that were remaining for red, and now he's going to drag all of these interceptors back into base and eliminate them. So what we've seen here is red had a much earlier T3 shift, was able to get out a Strat Bomber. Bloateer jumped on T3 air, and what do you know, the game was not lost immediately. Sometimes that early Strat Bomber is not actually that decisive. Plus, if you have a buttload of interceptors at hand, then 4 or 5 ASF will definitely die. They are not that dominant. Hershey retreating in the face of Ilshivas. Of course, I wouldn't be so afraid of the 3 Ilshivas on front as the entire backing army, plus commander, plus T3 that is coming in as well. Hershey just running back into base, hoping that Evil Angel's massive amount of fire. Wow, that's a lot of triads. We've got 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and he is not building any more, but that is a horrendous amount of damage to be dumped upon an enemy. Evil Angel also at the front and able to overcharge should he need to, and there he goes, building even more triads. Janus coming in. Oh no, this is bad. That's going to be a lot of napalm on the build power, just cleansing the earth of all of, oh my, all those engineers. Holy cow, that is a GC coming up in the back. It will hopefully be soon enough to save the base from all of this stuff. I think it will, because these are going to be mopped up quite easily by a couple of commanders. And the point defense, we've got a megalith building on the north side, 2 players in T3 air, and it looks like a 3rd potentially diving in. We've got a T2 air factory there, but no T3 units yet. Maybe he's just building the Januses. Blowdeer over on this side, that's where he got his power. He is building T3 P-Gens over on his fire base. A little bit of a weird placement. I would be afraid of losing them, but I suppose whatever works for you. We got broadswords out as well. Those are rocking 6,000 HP each. Then you get veterancy and it increases even more. Those are just so tanky. They've also got the ASF to back them up. And one thing to remember about gunships, it is not necessarily as bad as people might think to build T3 gunships. T3 air in general has such a high damage potential that you lose just catastrophic amounts of units in the blink of an eye. And what you can have happen is those T3 gunships take firing priority from the ASF. So the T3 gunships move in, the enemy's trying to micro his ASF, but they're shooting at the gunships and not at your ASF, and your ASF just shred his. And if you have a large quantity of T3 gunships, you know, in the 15 to 20 range, sometimes the ASF from the opposing side just can't peel away that HP fast enough, and they end up losing their entire ASF swarm to your swarm just with a little bit of good micro. So sometimes that meat shield can come in extremely handy. Galactic Colossus moving out towards those commanders. Salty, I think he pinged in chat. I saw it go by. Yeah, we need to run. Yes, he is getting towards the back lines, taking his teammates with him. Salty retreating. He does have quite a bit of anti-air with him, so I don't think he's in much danger from the air. Flak is very effective versus gunships. Plus, we got some Titans and other stuff with the commanders. The problem is this GC. Titans cannot kill a GC. However, that GC is walking past 3 Ravagers and a 4th one about to come online. And I think if the GC had gone this way to wipe out the firebase, he might have turned out a little bit better, because he's already dipping below 2/3 HP. That is concerning, because we've got 2 ACUs, one with 25,000 health and one with a shield totaling out to, what is that, 45,000 health. And that GC is down to 50. 3 overcharges and the damage that's coming in right now, and that GC is going to die. And that is more than a little concerning. Here comes the damage. 1 overcharge, 2 overcharges, and 3. It is down. Not even stripping 3,000 HP from that commander. That was a miserable failure, and that is a huge mass donation as the GC just kind of nosedives into the sand there. I'm not sure where that entire Galactic Colossus went. Apparently it is inside the hill somewhere. I don't think even a GC is massive enough to disappear into the earth without the help of a little bit of wind. Up on the north side, we've got a broadsword push, though. Blowdeer has built quite a few, and that, no! You just got through the shield. Why are you moving? He's going down here to try to kill I-5. Chevy was a prime target. I-5 down to 6,000 health. He might still do this. We got a shield going down here. but another building. Target the shield, target the shield. There's one died, but nope. Wait, what? Oh, wow. Broken game animation just saved I-5. Holy cow. Okay, so what happened there? The shield was building, and it built enough before it died to start raising the tower in the center. It died, but the death animation takes like 4 seconds with the Aeon shield. And that 4 seconds was enough to bring up the actual shield bubble without a structure for 3 seconds, which saved I-5's buttocks. That was ridiculous. I've never seen that particular bug before, but looking at the swarm pouring into the south side base, that might have just lost them the game. That was so bugged. Blodir even caught that one. Evil Angel trying to overcharge his way through all of these Authams. Yes, they're awful Authams, but when they're in that big a number, they are terrifyingly damaging to your health. They're getting slowly taken apart by these broadswords. They deal about 300 damage each, which is less than a T3 land unit. However, they're not really taking much damage from the land because all of that AA is still back here. They didn't bring it to the front with them. This would have been a much more successful push had they had that anti-air on the front line. So that was a critical error on the north side team's part. But there is a megalith, some hoplites, and all the AA moving in right now. Those Authams backing up though. I'm not sure why. I would be pushing, because that would be a two-pronged attack and they would only be able to defend against one. Not sure why those are not coming in. Oh, those are Harbingers, not Hoplites. My bad. Hoplites and a Mega coming through the gap. That has got to be a scary sight. Broadswords growing in numbers. Is Blodir still building them? No, Blodir is building strat bombers now. He's got all of his T3 P-gens up over here, and he is building tac defense. That is an awfully lot of P-gens to clump up over there and not really have a whole lot of defense on. That would make me nervous. Yellow bringing his ASF in, but he does not have nearly enough to eliminate all of these gunships. Gunships just going to shrug off the flak, I guess, and deal as much damage as they can to that megalith. Evil Angel's in a bad spot right here. Oh, the Harbies are going to get him. Oh, there he goes. That is one commander down. He was over here, and I think he was running from the megalith and ran into the Authams and ran so that he could try to damage block on the hill so that he wasn't getting hit from all sides, but the Harbingers ended up finishing him off. You got a T4 and 2 armies of T3s from 3 different people, and your ACU stuck in the middle of the triangle. Illuminati, guys. The Illuminati killed him. Titans coming in, trying to damage that GC, but I just can't imagine. Nope, they're running by, and they're going to go after the build power. That's what a Titan's for. That is an appropriate use of a Titan. Take out a T3 P-Gen, and Mercy's finishing off the clump. Nicely done by Orion, defending his base. I heard a ping, and I did not see where it was. We've got broadswords dealing with the last couple of Authams, which have severely damaged the infrastructure over here. The T3 is still online, though, so that is not the end of it. Let's take stock of the battlefield real quick, because we have not checked economic numbers. I should have done this by now. I-5, 20,000, reclaim 226 income. We've got 245 and 12 for Blodir. So Blodir is on top of the pile. No, he's not. Salty has more. 267 income with 60,000 reclaim, mostly thanks to that Galactic Colossus. And Chevalier with 9,235 income. So that's the top of the scoreboard. Sky Smasher, of course, just had most of his base wiped. He is power stalling hard, and hence the low income, and then all of these other numbers trailing off into the bottom. So Eco looks super strong for the north side, but their problem is that they still do not have air control. Air control is strong with the south side, and there's a lot of strat bombers down here, so they could still make something happen. What is that? That is 15-ish gunships, 19, almost 20 gunships, plus a handful of strat bombers. That is more than enough to snipe a commander. Now we just gotta see what they do with it, because this right here, this is not a lost game, but it is close to it. They've already had one failed air snipe due to a bug and some bad target prioritization. I just hope that it doesn't happen to them a second time. I definitely would not be going for these, but it does appear that they're going to the north. There's SAMs all over the place over here. Of course, there's SAMs all over the place over here too, but the ACUs are kind of in front of the SAMs if you come from, well, no, there's some over there. I would have come right up the middle this way. No, they're flying in range of the SAMs. ASF coming to the back, realizing that this was a ploy, and they're going to go right after the strap bombers. No! They didn't even have close to air control, but they're just controlling the controlling the engagement to suit their whims, because that was just complete deconstruction of the attack. Excellent, excellent micro, killing off the strap bombers first, leaving the slower gunships for the SAMs and other anti-air to finish off. Not even going to break the shield on that. What is, oh, never mind. Okay, well, the T3 air has been thrown away, and that is pretty bad. There's a Fat Boy almost online for Bloodier, but we do have a Megalith already online and walking towards his base from Chevalier, and it looks like the north side is pretty well set. So unless there's something, oh my, that is something. That is going to be a teleport upgrade. So Hershey's going Telemazer. If he can kill someone important, then he might in fact be able to bring this game back, but I'm not sure. There's a T3 point defense and lots of T1 over here. 3 T3s. 4 T3s. So that's off the table. We've got Salty, but he's got chickens building. He's got 1 queued and 1 already built, so he's not careful. He's going to get sniped off if he tries to get that one. This is brutal right here. We've got T3 artillery on the cliff edge, firing at the base, just denying this area to the other team. That is brilliant. I love it. I love good strategic decisions. Chevalier is definitely a target for the incoming Telemazer. Got Fat Boy fire over here. We've got a GC and a Megalith moving in on the Fat Boy, and I don't know. Bloodier does not have that scouted, so the targeting priority is not going to change. Fat Boy is prioritizing a T1 point defense over a Megalith. That is a bad way to spend the day. Looks like Hershey has finished the teleport upgrade. Chevalier has no defenses whatsoever, and that is hilarious. Oh, Arrow's apparently got the Billy. He's asking about that, and they're building a nuke on the north side. That is what superior economy gets you, folks. So Hershey is teleporting. Oh, Chevalier saw it. He is building T1 point defense. Where's the commander going to pop in? Come on, come on. I know you are almost done loading. Where'd you go? Did you power stall? Is that it? Nope, he restarted his teleport. Oh, that's bad. That is super bad. Because that means, yep, that means that more point defense is going to be online and he may not make it out alive. If he had successfully teleported the first time, he probably would have been okay, but there he is. He's going to take down Chevalier easily. I hope he's teleporting back out. It does not appear that he has queued a teleport yet. That will get the Megalith off of Bloadier's back, but the south side has lost another commander there. Hershey, nope, he is dead. But he did take a player with him. Bloadier is going to control K though, because here comes the cavalry. We've got a GC, many Authams, and a whole lot more units coming into the base. Another control K, the GG's thrown out, and I imagine Orion is going to follow suit. That was a good little game. It was very close. It looked like the North had an upper hand for probably the last third of the game. There was one critical misstep by the north side, but throwing away that T3 air twice for the south side, I think lost it. They had really good air superiority for most of the game, but just failed to capitalize on it, really. And I think maybe the gunships were kind of necessary to defend against the land down here, but if there could have been just a few more strat bombers and just a little bit better coverage of the strat bombers, if they had gone for some guys on this side maybe and killed this off in order to reclaim all of this mass here and get back on these mass extractors so that they could get back on the left side, you know, they could have had more eco to fight the right, or maybe if they would have successfully sniped off one of these guys. Chevy early would have been great if they would have stayed on him once they got the shields down. I really think that they could have killed him, and it wouldn't have been the best target, but it would have been a good target because it would have freed Blodear up. Lots of ways that could have gone differently, but it turned out the way it turned out. Congrats to the north side, and well played all the way around. Well, guys, that's been a game on Canis. Hopefully you're enjoying some of the casts coming back. I'm definitely enjoying getting back into it for a little bit. These are some casts that are going to be going up over time because currently I am moving. In fact, on the day that this releases, I am probably already in a totally different state, looking for a house, and some of the vlogs have probably already come online. If not, they will be up very shortly. Content is going to be a little sporadic, like I said, over the next couple of weeks because I'm in the process of a 650-mile plus move, so I do appreciate your patience while I'm doing that, and I'm looking forward to getting back into YouTube full swing next month in a few weeks or so, once everything in real life gets sorted. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.